Hi, I'm Elizabeth and I'm here to talk about books. Today I'm here with a quick weekend reads type of video just because this week has been crazy busy at work and my brain is fried, so anything requiring actual reflection is beyond me at this point. This week I was planning to do the Tome Infinity and Beyond readathon created by Megan and Ali at Brushing Bookends, but I saw the information about this readathon over at the restricted section. I will link both of those down below for you. I really enjoyed the idea of this readathon because, well, it sounded so much fun. As much fun as it can be with aliens invading your planet. No, actually not invading the planet, they're going to destroy the planet on September the 22nd, so we need to evacuate. And to pay your fare when you're evacuating, you have to read certain books, which is fortunate because I have certainly more unread books than I have unspent cash lying around. So I went so far as to create a pile of books as a TBR for myself. I never made an unofficial TBR video, but I haven't been reading it all this week, so I'm lagging far behind, and I'm not sure how much I'm gonna be able to read in the coming week either, but I do intend to try to get at least 2 books finished. So the first challenge of this readathon was to, well, there are 4 different vessels. You have to choose one vessel, and the one I chose was the one going to Mars. And the challenge for that one was to read a book set on Mars. And I found I had exactly 1 book fitting that description on my bookshelves, at least that I hadn't read before, and that was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I feel I'm a little late to this party. In fact, this was a review copy of the Norwegian translation published 4 years ago, so I know I'm late to this party. This is a book set on Mars, obviously. It's about a society where class is very important, where there's a strict hierarchy and each class has a color. So we follow Darrow, who is a red, which is the lowest ranked class on the planet, and he discovers everything is not as he has always been told it is, and we follow his journey trying to deal with this. Not going to say much more about the book now because I do intend to do a wrap-up of this readathon, at least if I manage to finish more than 1 book. The next part of the readathon would be to read a book for the challenge for Mars, and that is to read a book featuring aliens. I had a paper book chosen out for this, but I think I'm actually going to switch to an audiobook and go with Rogue Cannon's World by Ursula K. Le Guin. This was her debut novel. It's also the first book in her Hainish cycle. I've read other books from that. I've enjoyed everything I've read by Le Guin, to be honest. But yeah, so that's a book I really look forward to listening to, and I have about 2 hours of commuting every day, so that will have a fair chance of actually being finished by the end of the week, so I'll at least have 2 books. Maybe I'll be able to squeeze in a 3rd, we'll see. But I also have 2 other books I really would like to get to before next weekend. One of them is called The Polyglot Lovers by Lina Wolf. This is a Swedish book. I bought it when I was in Stockholm last summer. Since then it has also been translated into Norwegian. It's been getting a lot of praise here, and she is coming to a literary festival next weekend in Stavanger, where I am going, and I really want to hear her speak about this book. And before I hear her speak, I want to read the book so I know what she's talking about. This is a book about a professor wanting to meet a woman who speaks all of his languages, and yeah, it's about their affair, I think, when he meets someone. I really don't know much about this, but I'm intrigued anyways. The other book I really want to read before next weekend is If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things by John McGregor. I don't know much about this book either, if I'm fair, but I do know that I read Reservoir 13 by him last autumn, and I really enjoyed that, so I have high hopes that I will enjoy this just as much. I've heard it's a good book, but somehow I managed to not hear too much about its contents, and I like that. I like going into books without knowing too much. The reason I want to read this before the weekend is that I'm meeting some of my Norwegian book blogging friends, and 4 of us are going to do a project inspired by Project Annotate that was circulating here on BookTube like a year and a half ago or so. We each have picked out a book, and we're going to read and annotate it and pass it on to the other people in our group. So all 4 of us are going to read and annotate all 4 books. And this is my choice for the project, and it would be very neat to have finished reading it and annotating it so I could just hand it off over the weekend instead of having to mail it. So I guess that was all I have to tell you today. These are my reading plans for the next few days. Hopefully I will be able to read all of them, and I will see you next time, which will probably not be next week because of the festival, so in 2 weeks' time, probably. Bye bye!